Hi, welcome back to the Storehouses of Heaven Bible Study with me, Mary Cremo. We're in Genesis chapter 8, verses 1 through 12. Remember, God is the one who's telling us this history because He was there, He knows it. He is sovereign, He is God, He is good, and He is good. Yes, I am sorry, this is my cat. This is the one who's always wanting attention during our Bible studies, and he's a real sweetie. So... oh my goodness. I apologize for his popping in and out, but he's determined today. I've tried to film this multiple times and he just keeps coming back. So if you hear purring and petting of a cat, you'll know why. But God remembered Noah and all of the wild animals and livestock with him in the boat. He sent a wind to blow across the earth, and the floodwaters began to recede. The underground waters stopped flowing, and the torrential rains from the sky were stopped. So the floodwaters gradually receded from the earth. After 150 days, exactly 5 months from the time the flood began, the boat came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. 2.5 months later, as the waters continued to go down, other mountain peaks became visible. After another 40 days, Noah opened the window he had made in the boat and released a raven. The bird flew back and forth until the floodwaters on the earth had dried up. He also released a dove to see if the water had receded and it could find the dry ground. But the dove could find no place to land because the water still covered the ground. So it returned to the boat, and Noah held out his hand and drew the dove back inside. After waiting another 7 days, Noah released the dove again. This time the dove returned to him in the evening with a fresh olive leaf in its beak. Then Noah knew that the flood waters were almost gone. He waited another 7 days and then released the dove again. This time it did not come back. So, from that, you can tell that Noah and this dove were friends. And it sounds like he released the raven, who might also have been his friend, but he didn't release the dove at first. And I have to wonder if it's because that dove was his friend and had been his friend through the whole 7.5 months of this crazy situation. Actually, it's more now. So the 7.5 months is for the first mountain peaks to really become visible. So they land on the mountains of Ararat. Not just one mountain, but the mountains of Ararat. So somewhere in that whole area. And then 2.5 months later, they see the other peaks. And then 40 days later, so that's another month and a half. So it's another 4 months. So almost a whole year later. And then 2 more months. Yeah, so this is a whole year later once Noah and his family go on to dry land. Yeah, because now he's 601 years old in the next verse. So it is a whole year of them being on the ark. That's a long time to be on a ship, especially when you've never been on one before. You're used to having fresh food, fresh water all the time, and instead you're stuck on a ship. You're going stir crazy, you're seasick, all this stuff. But this ship was perfectly designed for the craziest, the roughest of seas. The dimensions that they were given were the most perfect you could ever imagine. They are so perfect. If it was a little bigger, it would have had so much more trouble. If it was smaller, it would have been destroyed like that. So, God knew what he was doing when he gave them the plans. So we have that second, so we've got the 2.5 months and the 5 months and the 2.5 months. And then you're seeing the mountain peaks. And then another 40 days and Noah is opening the window that he had made. We're not sure if he has made this window after the flood or before, but my assumption is that it's after, because God did not say make a window. he basically said, don't make a window. There's no specifications in what we read for the ark for Noah to be having a window, because a window would have caused structural integrity to be degraded, and they would probably have been flooded out. So it makes sense that they had made a window so that they could get some sunshine and some fresh air and not feel claustrophobic. Because honestly, I would be crazy claustrophobic if I were there. That's a lot of darkness. That's a lot. I mean, you had the 18 inches of opening in the roof, like just below the roof peak, where it goes like that. And there's the 18 inches of air, of opening to give you the fresh air and to draw out the nasty stuff to help with that circulation. However, that's not a lot of sunshine. Yes, it's a skylight-ish, but I know, they needed a little more sunshine. So he opened this window, he opened the window that he had made in the boat. So he had the ability to open and close this window and keep everything in, do whatever he was going to do. So he lets out the raven. The raven doesn't come back. Ravens are one of the birds that can speak and talk, but it never came back. So I don't know if it just decided to land on one of the other mountains and just hang out there, or if it got tired and ended up just not making it. They're very smart, so that is unlikely. It probably just decided, I'm going to hang out on these other mountain peaks. The dove came back empty-winged, empty-beaked the first time. So there was not dry land as far as Noah was aware. By dry land, it meant things had started to grow, things were starting to thrive. He was able to go out and not sink into the mud. And he was able to grow things. He was able to thrive. He was able to flourish. So the second time he sent out the dove. And the first time he sent out the dove and it came back, he reached out his hand and it landed on his hand. That is one of the ways that we know that he and this dove had a friendship. And the dove came to him. But once there was greenery and everything, the dove's like, I'm not coming back, So he brought back the olive branch. That is why people say, hey, I'm offering the olive branch. And why people consider it a symbol of peace is because the dove brought the olive branch. Also, the dove is a symbol of the Holy Spirit. And so, who is peace incarnate. So after 2 weeks, so the 40 days, so we have, at this point, it's 4 months after you see after they ended up on the mountain. So 11 months, we've got it. 11 and a half, excuse me. And the dove goes out and he brings back that leaf. 11 months and a half plus another week. We've got the dove with an olive leaf in his mouth. And then another 7 days, he lets the dove out. And guess what? The dove does not come back. And what do you imagine that Noah did? Do you think he let all the animals out at once? Very possibly. I'm not sure how he let them out in what order, but I'm sure the doves were definitely there. And he just let them go. He may have kept some as pets because, as you know, birds are definitely fully vibrant and thriving. So anyway, this is where we're going to stop for today. We will start again back with Noah being 601 years old. Seek the Lord, and you shall find him. And in finding him, he is the truth. He is the way, the truth, and the life. The truth will set you free. All you got to do is accept him. In the meantime, be blessed.